Everyone in the world has felt it at least once. From the driest desert to the most tropical climates, rain is a natural part of life. Or is it? I'm Johnny Clarity, and I'm here to tell you, rain isn't real. Let's start by looking at water. Where do we find water? It comes from our faucets, it's in lakes, oceans, the ground. But the air? I don't know about that one. You can even put it in buckets, but let's talk about that for a second. Have any of you ever tried to pick up a bucket of water before? Maybe you went to the beach, maybe you were trying to water a plant. It's heavy, right? Well, this may surprise you, but a gallon of water actually weighs about 8.5 pounds. I don't like crunching numbers, but let's do the math real quick. That means that 1 ton, or 2,000 pounds, is 224 gallons of water. That's a lot of water, right? When would you ever have that much water except maybe in a pool? Well, it may shock you to learn that 1 inch of rain on about half an acre of land is 27,000 gallons of water. That's 113 tons of water. Now, I know that might have been a little confusing for some of you, but water is heavy, and rain is heavy. Alright, I'm done with numbers for a while, but are we idiots? They're telling me that 113 tons of something is floating above my head anytime I see a rain cloud? I'm sorry, but that's just ridiculous. It would take so much force to keep that water up there, and we're supposed to believe it's the wind? Try pouring water at a fan and see what happens. Fans are stronger than most winds, and let me tell you, water doesn't go that far. And it definitely doesn't float in the air. They may have been able to get this past us when we were 5, but not anymore. And pouring water brings me to my next point. Pouring. Falling water. When you pour water out of a bottle, does it sprinkle down like rain? No. Water sprinkles like that if it's going through holes and moving around and stuff. Then why would rain fall like that? Dump a bucket, see what happens. It comes down at once. 1 sheet, 1 plop. If 113 tons of water came down at me at once, I think I'd be dead. If 113 tons came down, whole cities would be leveled. Still not convinced? Let's talk about how ridiculous clouds are. You spray a hose on a sunny day, you see a rainbow, right? If clouds were really water in the air like they want us to believe, all misty and clean, why don't we see rainbows in every cloud? Why can't we see through clouds? When can you not see through water? When it's dirty, right? Then why are clouds white? Water isn't white, ever. Maybe, just maybe clouds could be dark because of smoke and pollution. But what did you just hear? Dark because of smoke. Nothing ever gets whiter because of smoke, ever. Now let's take a second to talk about birds. We'll be fair about it and look at them in 2 ways because either 1, you think birds are tiny animals, or B, you think they're surveillance drones sent by the government. If birds are just animals, then they need water, right? Well, birds land in puddles and pools and streams and all sorts of things to take drinks. If clouds are full of water, well, why wouldn't they just fly through them for a drink? It doesn't make any sense. And if we look at them as surveillance drones, how could they fly through clouds that were all water and still work after? I don't think our waterproofing is that good yet, but maybe that's just me. Okay. This one will have to make you think for yourselves. If there's only water in clouds, then where does lightning come from? You expect me to believe that clouds are full of electricity because of water? When's the last time your pool electrocuted you? If there really is a ton of electricity in the water, then why doesn't rain shock you when it comes down? Think about it. The only logical conclusion is that there's some kind of power supply up there. So basically, the government thinks we're idiots, but they underestimated us. I know we're not idiots. I don't know what they're trying to do, but I've done some research and come up with a few possibilities. Now, the reasons are unclear, but here's what could be happening. Clouds are used for stealth monitoring operations. The government has drones and silent gliders. Seriously, look it up, it's scary. They're using the myth of clouds to cover up their constant surveillance of good citizens like you and me. I don't know if I'm willing to go as far as to say they have an airbase in the clouds, but I can't rule it out entirely. Clouds are always moving across the sky, so a slow air base could be moving with it. It makes sense when we see what happens to clouds around mountains. Sometimes at a mountain range, all the clouds will stop when they get to it. If clouds were just water, which we know they're not, why couldn't they just go past? But if a cloud had a solid object in them, then of course they couldn't go through the mountains. Of course they're all stuck on one side. So what is rain then? Well, I can't be sure since there are so many forces trying to keep it under wraps. But I think the most logical conclusion is that rain definitely comes out pressurized through some sort of sprinkler system. Why? Most likely irrigation and weather control. I need to do more research on this, but it could also be that the government is draining lakes and other bodies of water for some use that's still hidden, and they need a way to discreetly refill the water they've illegally taken from the people. All I know for sure is that rain isn't real, clouds are fake, and we need to keep our eyes open. This is Johnny Clarity, fighting for a better truth.